You know, when I said I was going to be doing a Shadowverse video next, I didn't think it would be this. So what's up everyone, welcome to a very special Shadowverse video here on the channel because Bushiroad just finished up their grand showdown, whatever it's called, and because of that, hello Facebook, they just did a bunch of announcements for the future of Shadowverse in the next little bit. And I mean, yeah, we got some restrictions, cool for them, different formats, promos, cool for that, promos, participation for next season. A little sad at this. Hello, Grand Showdown number 4. I mean, cool, we get North America, Mexico. Can we have some of the states, please? That'd be great. Promos, more stuff for Glory Finder. That looks cool. Honestly, I'm excited for this. Glory Finder is very fun. Basically, EDH style format. Those of you guys that know Magic, those of you guys that play Vanguard, think that one lyrical deck or Chaos or whatever. It's that format. And these decks look kind of cool. We got like a dragon looking guy. We got a wolfy looking guy. I'm excited. I did a series on the 4 that came out originally, so make sure you check that out. This we'll talk about in a second. This, I mean, that's part of the thing, but we are getting our generic perfect guard for Bellringer Angel. Ding dong, ding dong. Got to pick up a play set of these or whatever. Got a little more info on the Worlds Beyond starter set. I'm gonna go over this real quick because I've never done an announcement and this is just a general Shadowverse video. Basically, the new version of the digital game has been announced. As you guys know, Shadowverse is split for a long time between the normal version and the digital version that you can play on your phone or on PC or whatever. So, the new version of that is gonna be coming out called Worlds Beyond, which should be releasing at the beginning of the summer. Can't wait for that. Crossover they are doing for Evolve for the physical card game. You could get a bundle that contains one of these 2 structure decks, some packs of the new set coming out, and they get some exclusives like deck box and leader card based on one of these 2. I'll definitely pick up the Sword Girl, she looks cute. And expansion containing some extra cards to boost up one of these start decks and serial codes for stuff in the game Worlds Beyond. I am very excited for that, of course. I'll be picking up probably this Warcraft one. And a little tip to those of you looking to get started on the game, this dragon one right here actually has a really good staple in it. That is the absolute 3 of in most dragon decks. So make sure you pick that up if you are looking to play Dragoncraft. But what we are here to do today is, wait, I was gonna do a cool transition, but I forgot. The one promo that I care about, the 2-year anniversary for the physical card game, which is great. Happy 2-year. Here's my goat, Demonium. One of my favorite characters in the actual anime that the Shadowverse digital game is based on. We are getting a handful of promos for the release tournaments, which I wish I could zoom in on this. Can I get a full zoom, please? Thank you. Not too big of a zoom, but don't worry about it. Looking at a bunch of guys that are based around digital game or based on the anime, like Wildfire Tiger, I know was in the main force deck. Armor Burst for the armor deck, which is like the main character's deck, and he is goated. Ooh, Angel Support, nice! PDK stuff, Academia stuff. There's a good variety of stuff here. The most important thing though I care about is the Demonium. You guys evolve for him, and that makes me super happy. I'm actually gonna have to care about these release tournaments and try to do good because I want to pick up a set of these Demonium. It looks to be a really good card. We've got Life Drain, we've got Death Touch, we've got Sanguine is one of your keywords. When you deal damage to yourself, you get extra buffs. It's active, he gets +1/+1. Rush and Assail, oh god, he gets like everything for that. That's adorable. Then on attack strike, deal damage to enemy leader equal to this card's attack. So he'll be a +1/+1. That's really good. I like all the keywords based around this effect. 3-drop for T3 is decent. I'm definitely gonna be picking these up and building a deck based around it because Demonium is one of my favorite cards in the game and probably the only best card I care about besides a spoiler to a certain deck that is kind of featured in here, but not really featured because that's just the EDH version of it. But I did build a version of that I was going to play in Tampa if I went to Tampa. Yeah, that'll be coming soon. I have a couple of decks I want to show off, so make sure you subscribe to see us go live. What's more important than that, though, this time we're actually doing transition, is you guys know this is obviously a Vanguard channel. I mean, I do all sorts of card game content, but let's be real, I am a card fighter from day one. Guess what is finally happening that they've had been promising for the longest time? You see it right here. On sale August 15th, we are finally getting the freaking Vanguard crossover. Oh my god, let's freaking go. Comments down below something about original Vanguard, stand up the Vanguard, HE season, best boy. Oh my god, okay, so we're gonna go over some cards in a sec, but let's just say real quick, the start decks we're getting are based around HE's original deck with Alfred and Overlord, which, spoilers, is apparently one of the best decks in the game in Japan right now. Yeah, you might want to pick that up. Literally, look at this. We have a restricted 1 per deck for Vortex Dragon already, and the card's not even out yet. That's how good Kagero is, apparently. But you guys see these tabs up here. I am going to go over the bosses for each of the Vanguard nations to get you guys into it, and hopefully when it comes out in English, I'll be doing a proper breakdown of this set, and or do some deck profiles, and we'll get some guests from my locals that have played some of these decks in the past to kind of go over what they do now in Shadowverse. Look forward to that. But for now, we're going to go to the up here and click on some buttons. So here on the official Shadowverse site, we have a product overview just to show off what we're getting exactly. Here is the sets. We have some lovely, lovely art of the cross rides on the starter, and here's some decks that we'll see in a second. You got Lukia, we got Tsukiyomi, we got Maelstrom, obviously Overlord, not Overlord, Best Boy. Product description, here's some classic clans. So the different crafts in the game are like your different nations for Vanguard. Force craft's gonna be Aqua Force, Swordcraft is gonna be Royal Paladins, Runecraft is gonna be Pale Moon, Dragoncraft is Kagero, Abysscraft Shadow Paladin, and Haven will get Oracle Think Tank. Nice representation there for especially these early Vanguard things that are like the big players in the anime or whatever. Bonus box toppers. These are box toppers. I wanna zoom in. Let me zoom in. Evolution points have not been revealed yet. Oh no. I mean, let's be real. If you really care about your EPs, you're just gonna pick up the ones from the ambassadors, or the one I want is the mono one from this season's regionals that are just now ending in Pasadena. Good luck everyone in Pasadena. Thick leader cards. Leaders are kind of like your deck master for the game. They basically just are aesthetically there to show off what nation you play, and it's required, I guess. We got some nice little character ones. These are the thick ones, and I want this Asuka. I require this Asuka. Pale Moon Girls, Best Girls, freaking Asuka. And the nation she plays, Runecraft, is basically my main nation for the game anyways, so this is not a want, this is a need. When this comes out, someone hit me up with this Asuka if I don't pull it. Then box toppers, they each contain a bonus pack with 1 leader and 1 evolution point. Once again, we got the characters for your leader cards, the not as thick version, so I don't think these will be in the app. Once again, one of the cool things with Shadowverse, I don't know if this will show up on the freaking screen. Okay, it kind of does. One of the cool things with Shadowverse is you actually have a companion app for the game, so you can just, I'm just gonna tap some random clans. Oh no, look at me go. And like, it keeps track of your life and stuff and how much energy you have, basically all your resources for the game. So it's really cool that they do this with an official app. But where's the Shadowverse deck? That's the part where it'd be really cool if, oh, I found one. If I had more fancy leader cards, you know, I was more invested in the game, but I mean, my locals isn't right now, so I don't have reason to invest as much. One of the cool things that they do is that is if you have your cool fancy custom leaders, like here's a Erasmus right here, one of the wizard mans, you can take the app, scan card, boom, and you get a bunch of cool little voice lines from them, so here you go.
How do you do? Many secret.
But yeah. The thin cards do not do this, unfortunately, because these scannable cards are kind of thick voice. So I'm not sure if the thin leaders will have the voice lines be scannable on them, which makes the thick ones even better. I really need that Asuka. There's your thin ones, just so you can have your character art. And EPs, I kind of like these a lot, just because these are actually based around some of the original set arts for the original sets in Vanguard. So that is really cool. I would love to collect some of these, especially set 5, because MLB. And we got some original art. Speaking of MLB, oh god, that's sick. I want this card. I am going to be playing MLB no matter what. I want this card. Ultimate cards, we got Maelstrom, MLB, Lukia, Dragon Overlord the End, Overlord, Phantom Blaster Overlord, and Tsukiyomi. Really good full art leaders. Are these gonna be different arts? Okay, that's the same art as the box topper. Yeah, I need the Asuka one. Price and stuff, cool. $54 for a box isn't that bad, especially with full packs at $4.50. Let's do some math real quick. 4.5 times 12 equals this number. Yeah, it's 54, so that's fair. Rarities, yay. Special foils, ultimate foils, drive point. You get drive point so you can drive check. Because I'm just gonna go into rules real quick. Of course, this is Card Fight Vanguard, so we do have drive check in the game now. In Vanguard, this is a huge divisive thing, and some people are scared of it because, oh no, what if you hit your over trigger, blah, 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 blah. But realistically, it is a huge aspect of the game that introduced a lot of psychology. Oh no, what if you drive checks? How many triggers does you have left? A lot of skill, because you have to figure out when you want to guard things, because a trigger could at any point in time change your power or whatever, or give you a lot more shield or whatever, or apply a cool effect that might change the game or whatever. Love it or hate it, triggers absolutely make Card Fight Vanguard Vanguard. And of course, in the Shadowverse collaboration, they have been introduced as a mechanic for exclusively this set. So basically, the way it's going to work is in Vanguard, of course, when you drive check a card, you add it to your hands. In Shadowverse, this doesn't really happen because you aren't adding cards to your hand randomly when you attack. So what they're doing in the rules right here is basically saying that when your Vanguard has drive check, it still performs drive check. If you drive check a non-trigger unit, that card will go to the bottom of the deck instead. And if you do drive check one of the 4 trigger types, which have some nice effects, that card will of course go to your drop zone after resolving. That's the way of kind of introducing triggers without adding them to your hand, which will break things because a Vanguard player would basically just have a massive hand size versus a non-Vanguard player. Not to mention, this is one of those games where there's no real phase, so you can just go attack, call, attack, call, attack, call, if your deck lets you do that kind of thing, which means that adding cards to your hand from drive checks would be broken in half. Real quick overview of these triggers before we get to the boss units. Of course, we have the 4 classic triggers: crit, draw, heal, stand. I almost said front for a second. That's all in this business because we've had stands. Critical, you can give a follower +2 attack, which is good because there is no damage increasing like there is in Vanguard. You just kind of attack their life directly, like in something like Magic, you want to decrease their health down to 0. So getting 2 more attack is your way of increasing attack. Draw trigger, player draws a card. Easy. Stand, you're probably gonna stand something? You refresh a follower, and that follower can attack the leader. Okay, so that's fair. So refreshing something will restand it, because that is your state for the game, and make it so you can't attack the leader again makes it pretty fair, because otherwise you have, oh no, I'm a broken card, attack the leader for a lot of damage, stand, and we'll do it again. This basically makes it so you're able to attack multiple times, but one of those attacks has to go onto a follower, so you have to attack one of the creatures at least once. Then finally, the heal trigger, increase your leader's health by 3, so you're healing yourself, taking some reverse damage. Not bad. It's pretty much all the rollings to it, aside from I think you need a drive point card in your Evo zone. I'm too lazy to look into that. Here's some official rules. We're scrolling through real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the official card set off the official site. This is in Japanese because we're going to do it the funny way and not have the actual English translations up, but the Japanified English translations. I just want to go over the bosses for each of these real quick, just the ones in the main set, which means obviously we're not going over Alfred or Overlord. Oh no. Let's be real, I am a royal player. I am picking up Alfred. But start off from the top because that's how it goes. We're just going to look at the boss and the other grade 3 legendary. We got Blue Storm Maelstrom. Oh god, they did the freaking thing there. That's adorable. 3 cost. Cost in this is basically how much energy you need to play the card. So 3 cost, 3/3, not bad stats. It evolves for 4 into Glory Maelstrom. Has Twin Drive, of course. All these are going to have Twin Drive because they are your grade 3 Vanguard. Of course, they're going to have Effect twice. Sprint is basically Storm, which is the good quick attack because there's 2 quick attacks in this game. There's Rush where you can attack followers and Storm where you can attack them directly. So we're looking at a 3 cost, 3/3 that can Twin Drive and attack right out the gate. When attacking, if it's your 4th attack of an Aqua Force follower on your field, it evolves for free. Okay, cool. There's Evolution right here, which is also going to be the promo for the release tournament. It turns into 4/4, nice power, same abilities, and when it deals damage to your opponent's leader, choose one of your opponent's follower, destroy them, draw 2 cards. That's not bad, actually. The fact that you have effectively a turn 3 that can turn into a turn 4 that deals 4 damage to them, kills one of their guys, and lets you draw 2 cards. Just the fact that it has that ability to destroy a card and draw 2 cards, fantastic. Super aggressive. I mean, this is Aqua Force, of course it's going to be aggressive. We have Diamantes as your backup grade 3. Lunge, what's Lunge? Shadowverse Lunge. Alright, we got Lunge is actually the other version of the quick attack. This is the one that can only attack creatures right away. So 3 cost, 3/2 that can attack creatures right away. Fanfare, choose one of your opponent's followers and activate it. Cool, because one of the mechanics in this game is you can only attack a follower that has already been activated or rested. So some standard, you can't attack it. This attacks things right away, so of course its on-place ability is going to rest something so you have a target to attack. Then last words when it dies. If it's your turn, check your top 5. You can put up to 2 Aqua Force followers with original cost of 1 into play. Bomb deck the rest. Okay, cool. I don't want to go into every single card in the set yet, but I assume Aqua Force is going to have a lot of the size 1 units I can call out, which is really good. Royal Paladin. Alright, this is important. So we have MLB here. Yeah, boy. The Knight of Chaos himself, original avatar, fusion of Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark. Please tell me do something with Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark. 6 cost is expensive for a 4/4. It has, once again, Storm and Twin Drive. If you have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in the graveyard, this gets +2/+2, making a 6/6. Okay, cool. A lot better. I like that it deals with Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark as it should. Make a 6/6 for a 6 cost is I mean, it just kind of equals out, which is whatever. 6 damage with Storm right away is pretty good. Alright, Fanfare. For each pair of Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in your graveyard, choose up to 1 follower and destroy it. We got the destruction right there. I like the fact that it scales for a number of blades and darks in your drop, so it gives you incentive to play a full playset of each. In this game, a full playset is 3 copies, so at max you just be retiring 3 cards on place, which isn't bad. I mean, you basically have, oh god, why did I just notice this? You still have basically 3 chances to retire 3 cards out of the 5 maximum cards that can be on the field at all times, so that's a pretty good board wipe, and 6 damage off the rip isn't bad. The only thing being 6 cost is a little bit expensive, especially when Sword class traditionally plays a lot of low drop cards and just rushes the field. Still, I have to play this card legally because MLB is my boy, even if he's now a Road Blaster. Palamedes here is your backup grade 3. As long as you have at least 15 Royals in your graveyard, this gets Storm and +1/+1 when attacking. So he's what, a 5/3? Okay, so 4. Okay, this is more like it. Like I said, you want to have low cost cards in Swordcraft, so this being a 4 cost 5/3 effectively makes him a 4 cost 6/4 with Storm, which is not bad. Fanfare, choose something, deal 5 damage to it. Cool, he has destruction on him. Okay, I like this. The Royal Paladin deck is strangely going to be a destructive deck, even if it doesn't aggro as much as you'd think it would. Which kind of bounces a little bit, because Royal Paladin officially is one of those gather your allies, wait a little bit longer, and just swarm the field afterwards decks. Not too bad. I do want to show off one thing real quick for Royals, because this makes me happy. First of all, Starcall Trumpeter's here. Oh my god, we are getting the girls back. This is what I want to point out. I just want to say Akane real quick. You guys know I'm the dog guy. Something Hound Razor. Check out the video. High Dog Breeder Akane is back. The original dog waifu, the redhead that is adorable. It evolves into Soul Saber Dragon. I'm not going to read the rest of this. This is just funny. I love so much that she evolves into Soul Saber. This is one of the original Royal Paladin bosses out of set 2, who basically, well, like his name said, Soul Saber, or want you to have a big soul in order to buff your field. And in this case, when evolving, you just buff things. Okay, it still buffs things. That's cool. Akane evolving into this is hilarious, just because Akane's effect traditionally let you call a card out when that card usually went to Soul, so you're making more Soul for the Soul Saber Dragon. And I mean, I guess it's kind of a lady dragon, so it makes sense. The waifu evolves into a dragon waifu. That's just hilarious. Dude, I just want to talk about Kit. I want to talk about all these Royal Paladins right now. This is like classic MLB. This is classic Soul Saber, and I love all of this so much. Definitely make sure you're subscribed. I am covering the crap out of this deck when it comes out. I don't care. Moving from one thing I played to another thing I played, we have our Runecraft, which, Lukia, it's whatever. We gotta get the Oscar one, so it's, we play Lukia, I guess. It's Silver Thorns. I never really cared about Silver Thorns too much. 7 cost for 5/5 is a little expensive. Let's see how important she is. Once again, we do have Rush, so she's able to attack followers out the gate with Twin Drive. Fanfare, choose up to 2 Pale Moon followers that cost 4 or less, 1 from 3 less, and 1 from 2 or less, and put them into play. I feel like we're missing translation on this a little bit. Is it just like from hand or something? I mean, it's still good. Her being 7 costs. Hold on, we gotta do some math again. 4, 7, 9. Okay, she calls out more than her own cost, which is good. Calling out 3 cards on place is pretty good for Swarm. 7 cost kind of sucks, but I mean, this is a deck that perpetually goes to the long game, so that's not too bad, I guess. We'll have to see in the future just what these other Pale Moon cards are going to be. Cool, Lukia basically just has Limit Break, lets her call 3 cards out. Okay, that makes sense now for her being a 7 cost, because Limit Break is basically the thing that happens when you're late game, so having your late game cost kind of makes sense. I like it. I like that for flavor. That's really cool. More important card for me. I don't know if I can build a deck based around this and not the other one, because it is just a support card, unfortunately. But we have Alice, we have the girl, we have my freaking, I love Nightmare Doll so much, something Gear Moon Circus. So she is a 3 cost for a 3/3 bounce stats. Nice rush. And she says, number 1, first of all, she evolves. Cool, we have evolving in here. Twin Drive, destroy. Honestly, Twin Drive Destroy, that's great. Bushiro, thank you. This is the official slate. Once again, this is the official slate with just their English translation. So good job. Can't wait to have official ones. Fanfare, top card of your deck. You got 5 more advantage. Okay, I know what they are missing now. Pale Moon, I believe, is doing a bind-based strat, going into what they're calling the Banish Zone. And it says Fanfare, banish top card of your deck. So if you have 5 cards in your Banish Zone, draw 1. Not bad. I mean, I don't know if you're going to have 5 cards in that zone by turn 3. This is an evolving unit. That's a 3/3 that lets you potentially draw a card while setting up your future game. Because on Evolve, I love this so much, by the way. Cool thing with this is the original version of it had the original art, and this is the version from Card Fight Zero, the short-lived digital game. It has mold arts on it. This is actually the art that's on my mat, which once again, shout out to Joker Inc. I'm waiting on him to make my new mat. This is going to be awesome, but he does make stuff. He made my current mats that you've seen in many videos, and it has this art on it, so that's what we're doing. Evolution for Alisu right here. She turns into a 4/4, and when evolving, you can choose one of the following. So you can either 1, choose a pale moving follower with at least 2 or less in your Vanish zone call into play. So there's your setup right there. Or number 2, for a cost of 4, which is a little insane, but I mean, I guess you could just play this one turn, evolve for next turn, and pay your 4 costs right there. Choose any follower in your vanishing play and put it in play. So either way, she's going to evolve and take a card from your vanish and put it in play. But if you're able to pay a bigger cost, you could call anything as opposed to 1. Not bad. I am now wondering if Luca's call is call from banish, because that would make sense for this to just be a deck that put cards into the banish zone and calls them back out later. Kind of like how Pale Moons traditionally calls cards in and out of Soul. And for the sake of bind, once again, Direful Dolls. Check any video on Direful Dolls, I only cut there. Their whole gimmick is just taking cards from the drop to the field, to the soul, to the bind, to the drop, to the field, to the soul, to the bind, to the soul, after the it's just a giant loop of resources from one place to another. Really cool, keeps on theme for that. I love it. Alice is one of my favorite all-time cards. I love Nightmare Dolls so much. I'm definitely gonna be playing a deck based around this. A bunch of other PM cards. Look at this, we got perfect cards. Overlord. Okay, this is the broken card. What does the end do? This is important. It is a 7 cost 6/6, has Storm Guardian. What is Guardian in this game? Is that Ward? That's probably Ward. I feel like Guardian's Ward. If it's not, that makes no sense. Ward is basically an effect that says you have to attack a card with Ward before you attack anything else. So this kind of blocks you from being attacked directly. If that's the case, it's kind of silly to put that on your boss monster, but I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with it. When attacking, costs 3, discard 1, Overlord damage from your hand, restand this. Cool, yeah, it's a restander. Of course it's restander. This is any Dragonic Overlord. That's just what they do. This is restand the deck. So effectively, you will have 4 drive checks with this card. So 4 chances to activate your triggers. Pretty good. I mean, once again, traditional Overlords, that's not bad. If you have Overlord in your graveyard, store 1 play point to yourself. Okie dokie. Dragon Nation lets you do a lot of mana ramping, so restoring play points kind of helps out with that. Graveyard Shadows. What the heck does that mean? I have to look that up real quick. I think it feels like a last words thing, but last words will say last words. Destroy 5 cards, destroy all other followers on the field is a field wipe. Okay. I have to look up Graveyard Shadows real quick. I have to figure out what this translates to. Graveyard Shadow. So this is, what's the keyword I'm thinking of? It's something that Abysscraft, the dark deck, typically does, where it counts the number of cards in your graveyard in order to activate something. I don't know what this is doing here. Comment down below if you know what it's doing here before the actual translation happens and I can explain the keyword. But something about destroying 5 cards to destroy all followers on the field. That seems pretty good to have a field wipe on your restand card that has Ward and a big booty. If that's the case, I understand why this deck is tier 1 in Japan. This just does a lot of good things. Then your other legendary for the deck is one of my favorite traditional Kagura cards. We have Blockade here, the Pants Dragon himself. 2 costs 3/2 is insane. These are good stats for something I can play basically on turn 2. During your turn, when your opponent plays a spell, 2 damage to its leader. This stops quick effects. This shuts down half of Runecraft. Okay. Once per turn, draw 1 card when your Kagura card deals ability damage to your opponent's followers. So this is a nice little stun. Not a stun, but it's like it discourages them from playing the mechanic correctly, if that makes sense. Then once per turn, once you're able to deal damage to opponent's follower or destroy it or whatever, you can draw a card. So that's pretty good. Blockade traditionally is a card that stops intercepts, that stops your opponent from guarding from the field. So I guess stopping quick effects kind of does the exact same thing. Very on theme, I like it. Wait, yo, hold on. Is this the thing again? Okay, this is the thing. I just have to do this real quick. Shut up. Real quick party hours. We have Blazing Breath Dragon digivolving into Blazing Flare Dragon as an evolution, and I love that mechanically because that's the grade 2 and that is the grade 3 in the ride line, and it is a superior call thing. You superior ride somehow. Evolves, destroy a thing. Yes, you destroy the ride line to evolve it. I love that so much. That's so fun. Moving on to Shadow Paladins. We just straight up have Overlord. We just straight up have 2 different Overlords as our grade 3s. Okay. I'm gonna read this first. I have a feeling that it's gonna somehow call this out. And we also got Blast Dark. Of course, we have to have Blast Dark. I'm gonna take 2 seconds to look at Blast Dark. I feel like it's gonna have an effect that says it can be played in a Royal Paladin deck. I'm not seeing it, but once again, this is a universe thing, so cross clan if you need to. It only makes sense. Like, you legally have to place an MLB. So the big boys, we got Phantom Blaster, Dragon, the first version of it before he cross rides. 3 costs, 4/3, insane. When you play this, you could place 1 Shadow Paladin follower into the graveyard for an additional cost. Okay, very on brand for Shadows. They're all about sacrificing their own guys for effects. 1 cost to evolve it. Fanfare, if you have a Blaster Dark in your graveyard as additional cost, you can evolve it. Okay, so you sack Blaster Dark in order to play this card for his additional effect. You can just evolve it for free. That said, a 1 cost evolution on a 3 cost is not bad even without that, simply because if you want second, you do have evolution points. You could use 1 evolution point per turn, and if not, it's just 1 extra energy. So you're effectively saying turn 3 you could evolve it for free, or turn 3 you could evolve it for free, or turn 3 you could play this guy. He has Twin Drive and Storm for 4 damage, which is not bad on turn 3. Let's see what he does when he evolves. Has the really cool freaking charging arts. I love this art so much. 5/4. Oh god, that's insane. If you do your special evolution, turn 3 you're dealing 5 damage to the big boy. When evolving, choose opponent's follower. If you have 10 or more Shadow Paladins in your graveyard, destroy them. I'm not sure how fast you're gonna ramp this in here, but once again, Abyss is all about putting cards in your graveyard as fast as possible, which means that if you're able to somehow turn 3 have 10 cards in your drop zone, you get a turn 3 card that swings for 5 damage with 2 abilities to check for triggers and lets you destroy a card. Even without the special evolution, that's still a turn 4 this stat, or a turn 3 this stat if you want second. Then of course the big boss, we have the Cross Ride, who is a 9 cost. That's insane. Typically you get 1 play point per turn unless you could cheat out stuff like in Dragon. 9 costs is turn 9. You've got to be broken. 6/6. When you place, if you have 15 or more Shadow Paladins in your graveyard, you can place 1 Phantom Blaster into your grave instead of playing the original, which actually, oh god, that's insane. Once again, I don't know how fast you're ramping this. This is definitely going to be a graveyard ramping deck. We'll see what the other cards do for it, but you can effectively, somehow, if you manage to get on turn 3, turn 4, whatever, 15 Shadow Paladins in your graveyard, you can turn 4 into this guy. He has Twin Drive and Ward, so you gotta kill this boy before he can kill me. Fanfare, choose 1 of your opponent's followers, destroy it, draw 3 cards. Insane. And that's a 1 cost effect card, 1 PBO from your hand, he gets +6/+6. This is on brand. Shadow Paladin is all about sacrificing cards to gain power, and for the Persona Blast ability of the original PBO, you basically just discarded 1 to get a lot more power. Doubling up to 12/12? Okay. I think ultimately this deck is going to kind of go down to how fast you can ramp your graveyard, but perfect world scenario, turn 3 you go Overlord, ramp, turn 4, ramp. Play this by stacking off Overlord, and if you have no one in your hand, you swing for 12 damage off the bat with Twin Drive. That is insane. Hit 2 crits off this, so that's what, +4 attack, 16 damage turn 4. Off of 1 card. I can see the vision here. This is potentially an insane card. And then saving the best for last for a certain somebody that I am not going to shout out because you know who you are. We have Oracle Think Tank that has the CEO herself, and the card I've been covering for the last 5 seconds, Tsukuyomi. Bushy Road, he brought it back for a different card game. We've been getting a lot of encounters in Vanguard. I think it's time. Hashtag bring back Tsukuyomi. Tell Tom. Look at him. Alright, so I do want us to do Tsukuyomi for last just because. Let's go into CEO. This was one of the original Mega Blasts for the game that basically a cost of you sacrifice all your resources to get a really cool effect. 4 costs, 4/4/2 to evolve. We have Designated Attack, which is the last time that I'm going to look up a card in Japanese, but I think this is the one that lets you attack something that's standing. Yeah, absolutely. There's a keyword in this game that, like I said, you can only attack cards that are rested, that are engaged. So this is Designated Attack, lets you attack things that are still standing. Pretty good. You can attack things that their opponents try to protect. Twin Drive, of course. Look. Fanfare, look at, okay, let's look at it. That makes more sense. So Fanfare, look at top 2 cards you deck. From among them, place the desired number of cards from that deck on top of your deck in any order. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck. This seems right. Oracle Think Tank is traditionally a deck that lets you stack cards on top or bottom of your deck, especially Tsukuyomi. CEO had the ability to basically do this once per turn, so Fanfare ability to do that makes sense. It's a Scry 2, top deck 1, bot deck 1, not bad. 4 cost, 4/4 is decent. It does not have a quick attack, so you have to do it for wait a turn, but oh well. oh, you're just gonna evolve it and attack with the evolution right away. What do you do when you evolve? Once again, I believe this is the Goddess CEO art. We'll put it up on screen right now, but if it is, that's really cool. Goddess CEO was effectively the cross drive for the original CEO. 6/6, not bad. Designated attack, twin drive. Once again, what do you do? When triggered by your own drive check, so when she drive checks, you get a cool ability. Choose one of the following. You can either choose something and make it disappear. I love that. Or draw a card. I'm not even gonna look that up. That's the bind effect. Havencraft's Retire is effectively just banishing a card, making it go bye-bye forever. That's make it disappear no matter what. So when you drive check a trigger, you can either draw a card or bind a unit. Pretty good. I like it. Once again, a 4 cost that evolves for 2, so you can do this as early as turn 5. Because you can only use 1 evolution point per turn, even if you have them. So 1 EP plus 1 normal play point equals 2 evolution points. Turn 5 into 6/6, that potentially lets you retire a bunch of cards and draw cards for hand advantage sake, is pretty good. Alright, best for last. We have the Goddess of the Moon, Tsukuyomi, full moon goddess Tsukuyomi. 5 costs 4/4, has ward and twin drive, of course. Then, as long as you have the Tsukuyomi in your graveyard, this also has storm. Okay, so as long as you have Rhyline in your grave, which you'll probably be sacking off somehow or whatever you do with them, you will have the ability to get a quick attack on turn 5. Fanfare, you may put into play 1 OTT follower with a cost 4 or less from your hand. So it's effectively a 2-for-1 call that lets you, oh, I guess you call CEO with this. CEO costs 4. Okay. I see it. I don't like that you're not scrying yourself. I'm going to take a real quick peek. I know I was going to only do the 2 boss cards, but I want to look at the 2 other Tsukuyomis real quick to see if they do scry, because this is the stackiest deck in the game. This in Vanguard basically said you stack your entire deck at the bottom of your deck, and eventually it gets to the point where you know every card in your deck in the exact sequence it gets to. That's the whole point of Tsukuyomi. So let's look real quick, see if the other cards do in fact do that. We have Grade 1 Tsukuyomi, Fanfare. Look at your top 3 from among them, put desired number on top of your deck, and then place the rest on bottom. Okay, so there's a stack right there. So you have a cost 1 that lets you scry 3, and the scry in this deck looks like it's going to be placing a number of cards. So you take, if you see a bunch of triggers, put them on top. If you see a bunch of things you want to stack for later, put them on bottom. You can do this as early as turn 1, and once you get your Suk engine going, you can just spam the crap out of these. That's pretty good. Alright, so 2 costs, 2, 3 good stats. Fanfare. Look at top 3 among them, place desired, it does the same thing. And it has another effect I'm not reading. So the Tsukuyomi engine looks like Suk herself, the grade 3 will not be scrying any cards, but the grade 1 and grade 2 do, and you're able to off her ability, call one of the other 2. The rest of the deck's probably gonna stack, and I believe that's all unless I look at the neutrals. I'm not sure if there's anything neutrals that we care about. These are typically your generic classic, you can play in anything. We're just looking for bosses, we're not looking for anything else. Oh, I just wanted to read this card real quick. This art is amazing. It's all the original cross rides with my boy in the middle looking so freaking good. 3 costs, choose one of the following. If your evolved deck has 3 or more drive points, you can limit to 3 instead. Alright, so you get 3 different effects. If you have a lot of drive points, you could get all 3 of these. Choose something, deal 4 damage to it. Choose one of your followers in your graveyard, add to hand, or give yourself plus 4 health back. So you either heal, destroy a card, or just take a card from drops in. Really good. And if you think about it thematically, those destroying things, Phantom Blaster is adding cards back to your hand somehow, and the boy MLB is probably restoring your health back, I guess. I don't know why the Royal Paladin one's letting you get health back, but I'm not complaining. Then the final thing I want to go over real quick, just because I've been talking about drive checks this whole time. This is your drive points. This goes in your Evo zone. You can have up to 10 of them in your evolution deck, which is a little weird because your evolution deck is limited to 10 cards. I guess this is the way that they choose to balance things out, saying that you can either play evolving units or you can play a crap load of drive points. Followers with drive have single drive and lunge. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into this. Comment down below if you know the exact ruling. I don't know if you have to expend a drive point to give something a drive. If you are, once again, balancing the crap out of this game so you're not able to just continuously drive check, or if this just enables something with any drives to get these abilities. I don't know. That's the last thing we're going over. Here we go, back to me. Outro time. Don't skip this. I haven't advertised yet. If you want to help support me on this channel, you should, check out my page on TCG Player or drop me a tip on Ko-Fi. All that helps go back towards the channel so I can afford new equipment, cards, especially when the set drops. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so broke in a second. Or funding for, travel plans for big events and all the theme park stuff that I also do on this channel. But what do you guys think? Card fighters, shout out down below what of these decks are going to play. Shadowverse bearers, I think that's the terminology. Do you care about this crossover? And also, how do you feel about the other stuff I did at the beginning of the video? Because I also showed off all the other announcements that they announced at Ground Showdown. Like I said, at the top, we do have a couple of other decks planned to show off in the future. One of these being on, I'm just going to say right now, we got Mono. I was going to bring Mono to Tampa. Something, Best Girl, something, Robot, something, Gear Chronicle. And more importantly, another deck that I just finished putting together that's apparently really good in the English meta, freaking puppets. If you made it to the end of the video, congrats. You got to hear me say that I have a puppet deck. In addition to who knows what other Shadowverse stuff I'll put out in the future, so make sure you are subscribed to see that go live. I promise we will have more Shadowverse stuff also on the channel. You guys care more about Vanguard. But until then, I'm going to let you guys go because this has been a pretty long reveal video. So always embrace the infinite. I'm gonna take a drink. I'm thirsty. I finally got this cup. I'm so happy I finally got my Cali cup in. Something, my Yoshi. Gamer subs, G Fuel, fight in the comments. Once I get big, I still need a drink sponsor.